where you can make exponential returns, and we're talking about 1 billion in revenues. All right, so let's get right into this. The very first method here is what they call HODL or HODL, however you want to pronounce it, which is hold on for dear life. If you are a long-term investor and you know the merits or have conviction on the merits of a particular project, in this case, I'm going to use Bitcoin as an example. You can buy, you can dollar cost average, which means you just continue to buy regardless of where the price is, as long as it's, you know, it's on a regular schedule or whenever you have access to some capital, and then you let it ride forever or for a certain period of time. Literally, you can bury it in the ground, you can forget it until some time in the future, you dig it up, and you know, there's your pot of digital gold. So let's go through what that would look like if you were to do that with Bitcoin. So if you look here right now, 2013, the price of Bitcoin was $17. 2014 was just under $900. 2015 was about $250. And then on we go up into 2018, which was 11,000. But then you can see 2019 was a big dip. We're looking at about 3.5, right? Is what we're looking at. And then we go back to 8, 32, 36. And here we are sitting at around 22, just under 23. And where are we going to be a year from now? So you can see from here that there is quite a bit of volatility that can happen. And this is why I said you bury it in the ground. You don't even worry about it, and you just accumulate if you have enough conviction in it. And then at some point in time, you're going to have massive gains. I mean, if you look just from this shot alone, had you purchased at $17, even if it goes from $11,000 to $3,500, you still made massive returns. Massive returns. So we asked this question, right? Everyone always likes to ask this question. How much would it be had you paid X amount at this particular time in the past? So if you look here, the closing price for Bitcoin in 2012 was $13.45. So if we go back here, 2013, the closing price they put here is $17. Okay, so less than that, $13.45 as of December 31st, 2012. So if you had invested $1,000 in Bitcoin in 2012, you would have 74 Bitcoin today. At the current market price, you know, around 22, 23,000, your $1,000 investment would have become 1.2 million. So that gives you a return on investment of 125%. And that's an annualized return at 104%. That is astronomical. There's nothing like this return. And there's nothing like this return over a 10-year span. It crushes everything, whether that be real estate, whether that be the S&P. This is the best performing asset class within the last 10 years. And one of the things that people always have a hard time with is timing the market. Should I buy now? Should I buy later? If I buy now, it goes up. When do I get out? That's why when you HODL, where you just hold on, close your eyes, put a blindfold on, you bury it, put it in a safe, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. And then at some point in time, if you want to take profits, which I know a lot of the Bitcoin maxis, they don't like that. But if you do, I mean, you know, 5-10 years from now, you could literally close your eyes and sell some and make a great amount of profit, at least based on the historical evidence that we have to date. So that is the HODL plan. And I want to play something for you guys here. Actually, even here, ChatGTP, I was looking at here and kind of asking it certain questions. But it goes here, if you had bought $1,000 of Bitcoin in 2010. So we talked about 2012, but what about 2010? Going back even further. And it said that, you know, had you paid $1,000 for Bitcoin then, it would be over 1 billion by the end of 2020. Now take this into consideration. 2020 wasn't even the peak. November 2021 was really where Bitcoin had gone to just under 70,000 US. 70,000 US. Okay, that's quite a bit. So that 1 billion would have been even more at that time. Again, of course there's volatility in here, but the point here is that if you hold long enough, there are going to be many points where you're going to make an astronomical amount of gains that you can take advantage of. The ChatGPT even went on to say about Ethereum, okay? Had you bought $100 in 2015, it would be worth over $20,000 by the end of 2020. Again, that's not even its peak. It hit around 5,000 US in, again, November-ish of 2021. Even bigger gains. So it's not guaranteed, but history has shown over the last 10, 11 years that the best bet, the most tension-free, is to actually sit on it and wait it out and actually accumulate more, as time goes on. That's just been the best strategy. And I want to play something here from Tika. If you've watched any of my videos, you guys know I love the guy's content, and he's actually who put me on to the entire crypto space and entering through Bitcoin and ETH. But I want to play something for you guys that is so spot on.
On any given day, we have no idea how high or how low Bitcoin will go. I don't know. Nobody knows. It's a mistake to overly focus on the day-to-day action on the price of Bitcoin. On any given day, we have no...
That's as simple as it gets. So all the news that you hear day in, day out, Bitcoin up, Bitcoin down, ETH up, ETH down, this scam versus this pump, it's noise. Because if you've got a long-term mindset from the prices that I showed you, none of that matters. So most everyone, I say 99.9% of us, myself included, when you come in this space, you check your portfolio price every day. Forget every day, every 5 minutes, every hour. It just becomes an addiction. And as time goes on, the ones that you actually, do the fundamental research on and have conviction that this, has a great possibility of being here in the long haul, you forget about it. You don't worry about the day-to-day and you look long-term. So I showed you the year-over-year price and the changes that has happened since 2011 and 12. That's the best bet. But what is the last option? Where I talked about you can make $1 billion in return. And this is something where now I focus my attention on, all of my attention, this method of creating gains in crypto space. And that's early stage investments. So that doesn't mean you're going on an exchange and you're trying to find the best coin that's going to pump. Early stage investments mean you get an opportunity to get into a project before it ever becomes available to the public. So what's that similar to? It's kind of like, the initial public offering or IPO in the traditional stock market. Those investors who got into Facebook, Google, and Amazon well before they ever went public reaped massive gains. And anyone who's made money since they've been public, and no matter how much they brag, those early investors chuckle at, because that's like coffee money to them. Because when you're getting in that early, while the risk is high, the price point is phenomenal for you. And if the project turns out to be a winner, a unicorn, the gains are ridiculous. So again, we go to our friend ChatGPT and I was like, hey, look, give me some initial coin offering prices. All right. So again, remember, this is only going, ChatGPT can only go up to 2021. So it's obviously not accurate to the day, but at least it covers the massive spikes that have happened in crypto for the most part. So let's go here. Let's take a look. So we're looking at Ripple, we're looking at Litecoin, Stellar, and Ethereum. These are the four that it's covered. All right. But this is just to get you a sense, and actually even BNB here. So 5. So the price of Binance here, Binance coin, was estimated to be 1 cent during its initial coin offering. So the first time BNB became available to the public, it was listed at 1 cent. Now you'd be like, that's amazing. 1 cent. Right now, if we look at coin market cap here, BNB sitting here at $300. So if you get in at 1 cent and now it's $300, that's crazy, right? You're cheering, things are great, life is good. Maybe you got a couple of yachts, who knows, right? But what about the people that got in early? All right, so initial coin offering still means that the public now has access. Now, while ChatGPT may not be aware here of exactly what the price point is before, but there are levels of investment that come before it goes public, just like in the initial public offering. So you could have the pre-seed stage where it was just a concept. You could have it in a seed stage where now they have some traction and they're looking to ramp up, and they may have several layers of that before then they go to maybe a private or strategic round. I mean, they can get fancy in terms of how many rounds there are before it goes public, but all of those rounds are much less than the 1 cent. Like if we're looking at pre-seed, I mean, we could look at, I mean, this is 10 cents. We could be looking at, 3 cents, 2 cents, it could be any of those things. And so that, as much as the people thought that they gained during this 10 cent coin offering and now it's $300, imagine the people that have already had a factor of 5x just when it hit to 1 cent. And now what their gains are when it's $300. You look at Ripple now, it goes on to say, and Ripple's ICO price was not even a cent, 0.006 of a cent in 2013. That's its ICO price. Again, the rounds before it goes public are a fraction of what it goes public at. Imagine the gains. And where are we sitting at now for Ripple? So if we look over here, Ripple is just under 41 cents. So 0.006, even if you got it there, you're laughing when it's 40 cents. Now imagine you got it at 0.006, 0.001, even better. Okay, Litecoin, $4 in 2011. Again, the initial coin offering. So anything before those rounds, before the public offering, was actually much less than $4. Where's Litecoin now, if we look for it? So Litecoin here is $87. Imagine that, $4 to 87. You would think that's a great gain. But again, those that came before you are laughing. Maybe they got it for $1. Maybe they got it in the cents. So again, what you get at a public offering, no matter how cheap you think it is nowhere close to what the early stage investors got. All right, now they have ETH. ETH's ICO price in 2014 was 31 cents. ICO price. What is ETH right now? We look at ETH, we're sitting here just under $1,600. $1,600 from 31 cents. And those who invested before it went public, maybe they got it at 15 cents. Maybe they got it 10 cents, 5 cents, or whatever the rounds were prior to. It was a lot cheaper than 31 cents. So imagine the astronomical gains from coming in early. Now, I did say that you can make $1 billion in returns. And there actually is a set of early stage investors who did just that. And that's off of Solana. Right now, this article was written at the end of 2021. So obviously we didn't get the massive upheaval in 2022, but hey, these guys are still laughing and they probably sold off a great chunk of it during the highs. But Solana generates $1 billion in returns for multiple early backers. So what ended up happening was this founder had a difficult time raising money, in some kind of organic way, playing underwater hockey, whatever that is. Had access, made some connections with some early stage guys. They sold off 79 million tokens for pennies. It says pennies here. Maybe not even a penny, less than a penny. Okay, and so what ended up happening was they reaped huge gains from these first sales, in some cases generating $1 billion in returns. This is a 4,300 times their initial sales price return on investment. 4,300. You look at the stock market, if you get 15%, 20% returns, you're like a god. How about 4,300 times your initial investment? This is what's available in this space. Now, it doesn't mean everything you pick is going to become this. Chances are a lot of them are going to fail. Again, similar to IPOs. That's what happens. You cast your net, one winner will erase all of your losses and then some. So you try and do early stage investing. Forget even the ROI in terms of the capital or the money, is you get to see exciting new projects coming in the space that nobody else is privy to. While everybody else is complaining about the bear market, everyone else is complaining about Bitcoin did this, ETH did this, Solana did this. I don't care. because I get to see real projects solving real problems with the utility. So all the people who say there are no utility for this or that, there's no real basis for any of these companies, they're not privy to the information that you get when you're an early stage investor. There's nothing to excite them. They see what everybody else sees. So that's why I'm super excited about this space. I'm seeing tons of things rolling through, and hopefully I can show some of that going forward. But there are a lot of garbage projects as well. And so the ability to at least have a framework to sift through is very important. Make sure you check out this video right here that's actually going to cover the 5 T's that I use to assess projects when I'm looking to invest in them at an early stage.